This is Hollywood Ruins Everything, where we break down film and TV in a fair way, telling you the good and the bad, focusing on some of the more technical aspects of screenwriting and filmmaking, but all with the understanding that eventually, without fail, Hollywood ruins everything. So let's get into it and see if Hollywood ruins The Acolyte Episode 1.
Attack me with all your strength.
Okay. This is bad writing. So this is anime writing. Attack me with all of your might. What? So I don't like the choice of what they're doing with Carrie Ann Moss's character here. They've got her playing Trinity-like, Trinity-esque. I don't think it fits in the Star Wars world. Now we're getting into standard action fare, decent choreography. Carrie Ann Moss's character, I know she's probably been told to play like Trinity, but this does not fit with Star Wars. We're establishing here that the Jedi Master, Carrie Ann Moss's character, is far superior to May. This makes sense. So this is a cool shot. Give the cinematographer credit here. Don't tell me no. Okay. This is stunt casting. Carrie Ann Moss was put in all the marketing material, yet is killed within 5 minutes of the movie. And not even killed in a believable or heroic way. She was just distracted by the barkeep and got stuck in the heart by a dagger. This is so vapid and vacuous. This just means nothing. This death means nothing. Carrie Ann Moss was in this show for nothing. Not only that, it establishes now that May is more skilled than a Jedi Master. This is clumsy character development. What are you telling us about May? That she's a murderer? She's willing to kill the barkeep? But why? Why is she willing to kill this blue collar worker? You're indicating to the audience that she's evil, yet when the kid comes in, she decides not to kill the barkeep. Again, what was the reason? What is the motivation for wanting to murder an innocent man? Even more so because he inadvertently helped her kill the Jedi Master by distracting her. Leslie Headland is thinking more about shoehorning evil and good or a spectrum into this scene without actually exploring how a consistent character would react. You certainly want an arc for a character, right? They start out evil and they have some fatal flaw, but then something changes in the world or something changes with their character and they grow. Here we have the introduction of Yordon or Yardon. I'm not very good with character names, but let's find out what this writing tells us about the character in the first few minutes. He appears ready to harm the captain in order to interrogate the whereabouts of Osha. This tells me he's a serious character, that he's not to be taken lightly. Writing is really a promise. Your first impressions of a character, what the writer writes about the character in the first few minutes, offers a promise of who that character is, how they're going to act in certain situations, what their guiding principles are. So let's see if the writing keeps this promise throughout. So this is good. This is good writing. The meeting between Osha and Yord, they're on two different levels. One is suspicious and guarded. The other's relaxed and happy to see her old friend. So the subtlety of Osha grabbing Pip and Yord thinking it was a threat, that levels the emotional playing field for both of them. And this is done by a simple action reaction and not by dialogue. This is good subtextual writing.
So how long have you been a mechanic?
On the surface, Osha thinks these two are still friends. But there's underlying subtext here. Something's happened. Someone was killed, and Yord thinks Osha had a part in it. So that grabbing of his lightsaber says so much in just a short action. This is good acting between these two actors. There's a lot to be said without saying it. I'm hoping that this is consistent throughout this episode and throughout the series. Saul, my dear friend. Show, don't tell. The only thing that connects these two characters are those words. No action of Vanestra or Saul show that they have a deep connection. Lazy writing.
You and Master Indara were friends.
This dialogue is not between the two characters. It's to the audience. It's telling the audience what's going on. Again, lazy writing. It removes the viewer, even if only subconsciously, from the immersion of the story. How many times have you spoken to your friend like this? This is not normal dialogue between two people.
I see I have underestimated your attachment to her.
This is one of the most frustrating scenes in the entire first episode. The acting of Leslie Headland's wife. Yes, you heard that right. Nepotism in Hollywood. Shocked face. But back to the acting. This performance is stiff, unbelievable, and she's done no favors by the writing, which is simply expositional vomit to inform the audience of some plot point. No emotion, no acting, because in acting, you're taking action. Just a slight look of sadness and a line delivery to hammer home the gravity of what they're talking about. It rings hollow because neither one of these actors nor the writers believe what they're saying. So to recap, we're halfway through the episode and the writing is all over the place. There's no importance given to any characters through actions, simply words. We're supposed to feel a certain way about a character, but not through the actions that they're taking, but simply through what we're being told. We're being preached to as an audience. There's advice from a renowned book on screenwriting that states that the protagonist must do something admirable within the first few minutes of the story in order to establish themselves as likable and have the audience connect with them. So we can expand this to literally any story and any character. The character doesn't have to be the protagonist. We can have the antagonist, May, perform some heinous act to establish a promise of who they are. That's the thing. Writing is about establishing a promise, what the rules of the world are. The writer setting up the rules of the world and the rules of the characters. Good writing does this well. Great writing sets up these rules and surprises you with twists and turns that are fully believable because the writer has stayed within the rules of the world or signaled that the rules may not be what you think they are. This type of evolution of storytelling is key to crafting an entertaining narrative. Lazy writing breaks the rules or doesn't even set up the rules, the promise of a character or the world we're inhabiting. Bad writing is used as a crutch to move you from one plot point to another without regard for what a character would actually do in a particular situation. Bad writers break their promise and audiences know it. We see it and it's happening over and over again in The Acolyte. The parasite used to subdue violent criminals is only used on this guy. They think that Osha killed the Jedi Master. Would that make her a violent criminal? Why was this guy the only one with a flounder in his mouth? The face flounder is a neat little detail, but it's inconsistent with the story. Pip has been established as a cutesy R2D2 plush type merchandise character. So what do the writers do? They have our protagonist rip its head off to escape. But not only rip its head off, but have these sound effects while it's happening. This only serves to have the audience dislike the character when the writers are trying to have us like and connect with this character. Again, going back to good writing is having the protagonist do something admirable within the first few minutes of the story. That establishes them as likable and has the audience connect with them. This character hasn't done anything likable. This criminal who just came out of a stupor by the face flounder has now bested our protagonist, has now outwitted our protagonist. What are you saying about her? What are you saying about Osha with this? Tension. Let's talk about tension for a second. The writers are trying to build tension here. Osha struggling with her seatbelt while the ticking clock of the ship hurtling towards the planet is supposed to build tension, but it's the dumbest way you could try and build tension. Will our protagonist be able to successfully put on a seatbelt before crashing into the planet? It's not elevating her character. It's bringing it down just as the previous shot did with a criminal taking advantage of her. Build tension through having her strap into the cockpit, actively trying to rescue the ship through daredevil maneuvers only to see her crash in the end. Or have her in the cockpit, flying the ship to near safety, only to have the pilot droids reanimate and crash the ship because they think she's a threat. Do something active that doesn't involve your protagonist struggling to do something that any toddler on a Delta flight has done successfully in less time.
Our memories are lessons. If we don't meditate on the past.
Saul's character is supposed to be a sage, but the writing, having him blurt out platitudes and pseudo gibberish, drags his character down to the level of a street philosopher.
I request permission to go to college.
Vershara's character looks like she kept moving while they were spackling green theater paint on her. She sweated off the makeup on her cheek and above her lips. Not only is her makeup distracting, but this actress brings down every scene she's in.
I'm afraid I cannot afford to lose you to a field mission, Saul. You're far too valuable here.
I trained her. If she is guilty, it is my failure. Let me take accountability.
Small team.
Again, terrible writing. We need Saul to go in search of Osha for the plot to advance, so the writers manufacture conflict by Vershara telling him he can't go because he's far too valuable. But then she completely changes her mind when he says, "But really, I gotta go, Ma." Lazy writing, lazy delivery, and lazy storytelling. When these two are on screen, it's like the face flounder is sucking my brain out of my head.
May the force be with you.
F you. May the force be with you. This line delivery makes me want to drop kick a baby. Not only is that delivered as fan service, yet holds zero emotional impact and doesn't come at an inflection point. This iconic line is served up as a throwaway line, and Leslie Headland is behind the camera gleefully filleting herself because she gave it to her Nepo wife, and she's just sure it'll be clipped a million times on Twitter. This is not fan service, it's fan disservice of the highest order. Yes, it's tropey, the wipe to reveal the bad guy, but I thought this was pretty well done and starts to introduce some horror elements, which I'm always a fan of.
Nothing. No, he's Yord.
So here we see the writers taking the piss out of Yord's character. This is not consistent with the way he was portrayed at the beginning of the episode. He was feared by the ship captain and played pretty straight when questioning Osha. Why are the writers lightening the mood at Yord's expense here? This is why. As a transition into this ridiculous and out of place scene, which only further moves Yord's character into the fool category, Leslie Headland probably thought this scene was so clever and funny and just too good to leave out, even though it contributes to undermining the Yord character.
Hello, Osha.
We went straight from a semi-horror tone to a goofy slapstick tone in the matter of seconds. And now we're back into the mystery of the twins. This scene completely loses its impact. Oh my God. That green screen is horrible. Or maybe it's a volume, but whatever it is, it's absolute crap. But anyway, the gravity of this scene is diminished by the terrible decision to break it up with a goofy shirtless scene.
May, is it really you?
These girls don't even look like twins. Couldn't they have shot the girl, had her turn around and shot her again instead of casting two girls who look nothing alike?
Yes.
Another jolty wake-up scene. Don't the writers have anything else in their arsenal to transition to a new scene with the same character? Why is this droid even talking to Osha after she ripped his head off?
The fire that killed her entire family.
Saul insists that Osha couldn't have killed Yandara, yet he's completely unwilling to explore the possibility that her evil twin, who, kills people, could be alive. What's the alternative here? If Osha didn't do it, and her twin is dead, is there a serial killer triplet out there somewhere?
There's no way she could have survived this.
Not only did she survive, she doesn't have a scratch on her. Even the characters don't believe this writing is possible. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Didn't May's character early in this episode say something about a Jedi and their lightsaber?
A Jedi doesn't pull her weapon unless prepared to kill.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So a Jedi only pulls their lightsaber when they're prepared to kill or when they need illumination? No. Don't walk backwards. You're on a cliff.
May is alive.
Wait, what? What is going on here? Literally 3 minutes ago, Saul said, there's no way May is alive.
Do you think that...
No. May is dead. I saw her die. I saw her die.
Now he has no reaction to Osha telling him May is in fact alive. Only I believe you. What?
If you attack a Jedi with a weapon, you will fail.
Wait, what? What? If you attack a Jedi with a weapon, you will fail. You will what? All it took was one dagger and a clumsy barkeep to kill Trinity at the beginning of this episode. Do the writers change out after every 5 minutes? Is this musical writer chairs?
Steel or laser are no threat to them.
Steel is, in fact, a threat if it's in dagger form.
An acolyte kills without a weapon.
An acolyte kills without a weapon? No. An acolyte does not kill without a weapon because she was the one throwing the fucking daggers. What is this dude talking about? The writing is killing the dream of a competent Star Wars story. Jesus Christ. Hollywood ruins everything.